Hello folks, welcome out to an episode of the Complete Playthrough with Ajax, and since our last episode we've drawn a game in the Europa League to hopefully get through in that competition. But today, after being knocked out of the Champions League, dumped out of the Champions League qualifying stages, we play Hercules in the Eredivisie. But before we get there, what I thought we'd do is take a look at some transfer business. You remember a few episodes ago we looked at Benedetto, I think that's how you'd say it, from Boca Plate, Dario Benedetto, 27 years of age. I think he's got some lovely attributes to come and absolutely destroy the Eredivisie. A really good complete forward, physically very good, composure at 15, off the ball at 15, really good penalty taken as well if that's required, first touch, finishing, heading. He's the complete forward. He's the sort of man you want in a team like Ajax to just destroy and plough through some of the weaker sides in the division. So we've actually got ourselves to a contract stage with him. We've put a bid in for £4.3 million, which was accepted. Malaga also interested, so we have to make sure that this contract is good. We'll finalise that, and hopefully, in this next screen at least, we'll be able to talk to him about a contract. This hasn't gone particularly well. Okay, we'll say 18,000, that's the maximum, although we probably could change that. If we go on our scouting page and then look at the budgets, we can probably give ourselves a little bit more wiggle room. 10 million I think is still probably going to be enough. So if we go back to the contracts, as I say, what a little bit more. We are going to bring down a few things though, and hopefully this won't be too bad. Let's get rid of this minimum release fee. We don't want that in there really. And he seems happy with that there, which I think is okay. A few seasonal landmark bonuses in there for goals scored, which I think is absolutely fine. 20 goals, he gets 92k. If he gets a little bit more, do you know what? Actually, we'll incentivise him a little bit more. We'll say 100,000 for 20 goals, and then 25k for 5 goals extra on top of that. And hopefully we'll get him in. Of course, we're currently suffering with the injury to Kasper Dolberg, who I think is a really hot prospect on the game this year. And I want someone to back him up. Or if it comes to it, we might play 2 strikers, and then we can play them both together. Quite similar players, so I don't think that'll necessarily be the right thing to do. But with Europa League and League football, and us wanting to succeed in both of those, we've got to get another man in. I don't think Carson Huntelaar is necessarily that guy. Right, as we get to a little bit closer towards this game. Look, let's face it, Ajax are a top 3 team comfortably in the Eredivisie. I don't know if they're favourites actually to win it. If we take a little look there, we are actually the favourites to win it this year. Feyenoord and PSV, both very good sides there with some really good players, and we certainly can't sleep on them. If we respond to this quickly, we'll just auto pick our team. In fact, it seems to have done it for us already. We won't get our new signing in there, which is a bit of a disappointment. I was hoping it would happen a little bit quicker, but hopefully it won't matter too much. We'll get through. And then at a later stage, in fact, there's another squad registration on the 16th, which is quite interesting, which is just before the games get underway for the qualifying stages of to get to the group stages of the Europa League. But it's this league game that we're focusing on today. I'm just sort of continuing through to see if this transfer gets done and if any other transfer business occurs. We've obviously had a few offers from teams within Europe for players. But first of all, let's save the game and chat. So my start on Football Manager this year has been not too good. I've had a stream save that hasn't gone too well. I've got an Ajax save, which is, we're out of the Champions League. And then we've got an Arsenal save, which is going, that's the side. The side kind of sums up how it's going currently. So I'm hoping this save will be the catalyst for good, maybe the catalyst for change, as Donny van der Beek has signed a new contract, £10,000 a week. He was requesting it. He's got really good potential, and he'll definitely sell for a lot more money. So we get him tied down for a 4-year deal, which I think is perfect. And as we get closer towards this game then, we will see how we get on. I'm really hoping this transfer gets completed, but it doesn't look like it's going to be happening anytime soon. This is the guy though, isn't it? Ziyech. If he plays well for us, he could be the difference maker. 4-star current ability, 24 years of age, one of the more complete players in our squad. A young squad, but he's one of the more complete players. And from that right-hand side, I'm hoping this season he will have an impact, and we don't want to lose him as well. So I think clubs will be sniffing around, definitely in the January period. In my experience, the start, I see already players being linked with other clubs. In the first window, it's crazy to hold some of your youngsters at Ajax. It's that January window and then the summer afterwards, which luckily we won't be dealing with, but it's that January window which might be difficult to tie down some players. Benedetto then comes in and signs £24,000 a week. I think if you look at the rest of the squad, that is going to be one of the highest wages. In fact, it is the highest wage. But I think for what we're getting, for the striker that he is, he's very complete. Last season for Boca, he got 21 in 25. So he's an in-form goal scorer in the prime, the peak of his career. And I don't really mind shelling out quite a bit of money for a really good, proven striker. And I think there's quite a nice similarity. We've seen players come from South America and dominate the Eredivisie before. Hopefully, he'll be that sort of player. So As we go a little bit further forward then, we'll get him on a language course so he can speak Dutch. And I don't know, do we need to register him or is he already registered? I think he may well have already registered. In fact, this is the European Champions Cup, which we're not in. Is there no registration rules in Holland? I don't think there are. I think you just do whatever you like. I think that's what they're essentially saying. So what we'll do is we'll start him in this first game straight away. Huntelaar can go onto the bench instead of Sim de Jong. And yeah, we'll talk through the team in just a moment as we get closer to the game. We've not had a pre-match meeting, which is interesting, unless there was one and I missed it. But I don't think we did miss it. So where did that go then? We didn't have a pre-game meeting. Why didn't we have a meeting? Okay, maybe we don't need a meeting. Maybe I'm an idiot. Right, well, maybe is kind. Right then, so what we're going to do is we're going to change things up a little bit because I don't think this is necessarily the team or the format or the save, the team, the save. What am I saying? Basically, what I'm getting at is I don't think this midfield balance is correct. Sinkgraven as advanced playmaker with Schoen being one as well, and Van der Beek I think is a little bit too flimsy. So straight away, Van der Beek's going to be a little bit more defensive, and although he doesn't like it as much, he can still do the job. And then a deep line playmaker on support for Sinkgraven, just to allow the players in front of them to have a little bit more freedom. I'm worried that we'll be overrun in the middle. Maybe not against a team like is it Hercules, or am I reading right? Well, I assume it's Hercules, and if it's not, you'll all let me know in the comment section. I don't know why my mind thinks it isn't when it certainly is. Do you get more subs in DWC? Do you get 12? Oh yes, let's get them all in. There we go. Well, enjoyable. Right, here we go then. Instruction-wise, we're keeping it very basic. I wasn't going to apply many to it, but I think with the wingers that we've got, we should try and exploit the flanks a little bit, and maybe we'll look for the overlap a little bit more in the future if we decide that these guys will become wing-backs. I don't know at this stage. So we'll see how we get on, though. But Benedetto is going to play up front as the complete forward on attack. And let's see if our new man, our new striker, can do the job. All we're going to do is focus on getting the ball to the wide areas where I think we're most dangerous. I think we've got our best players out there as well. And hopefully that will come to good things in this game. He's a number as well. We'll give him 16, I think, as we submit all this then. And get into this game. Away from home. First game of the season. As mentioned previously, the start of our Football Manager 2018 playthrough series or saves, it's not been good, so I'm hoping that this will turn that around. We'll start off by saying passionately, we should be winning this one very comfortably. Play your own game and you'll win. They seemed a little bit bothered, but not overly so. We'll get the midfield to be a little bit more pumped up. I think that's the area in which this game will be won and lost, and one person cared, and we'll leave it at that. I've been playing around with 2D and 3D, and I'm not really sure what to go with. I still think that this 2D option of it being low and a little bit zoomed in is probably the best. There's maybe an argument to say it should be out a little bit more, so that's as close as we can go. I think maybe sort of 1 or 2 notches out, three or four notches out. That might be the solution to the current problem for some people. I think they want it a little bit wider so they can see the game a little bit better. But here we are then. The game's underway. We're 6 minutes in and we've got an early chance. And let's see, will our new man do the job as we fire over very early on, which is good to see. And at the moment, my game is a little bit glitched on that left-hand side, which is annoying. Like they should be in the middle. It's 3 different panels, but I don't get it, which is frustrating. And I genuinely think it affects how I manage, because otherwise I have to go in the analysis tab every time to see how we're doing. You can see straight away, though, early start, lots of possession, lots of shots. Hopefully we turn those shots into goals. As mentioned at the very start of this series, as our star man picks up an injury, because of course he does. Now, it could be Nuri on here, actually. He might be one of the best bets to bring out on that right-hand side. He's a tricky player, and I think we give him the opportunity to shine. So, on he comes we could play some advanced playmakers, but we've got a lot of playmakers in the side. Not so much on this side, though, because Van der Beek's playing a little bit more defensively, so we could give him that opportunity. Is David Neves maybe a better option as an inside forward? Yes, he probably is, actually, retrospectively, just because he plays in a similar style to Ziyech, who's now had to go off. Hopefully that's not a serious injury, as we'll confirm these changes and get back underway. Right, it's been a good start based on the stats, but an injury now, and the fact we've not converted yet so far in this game, not ideal. At some point, though, I'm sure we'll go more attacking, and in fact, we might... why wait, Ben? Let's go attacking now. And as we go into the second half, come out with that sort of attitude. As they trudge off after a pretty underwhelming highlight-free first half, you can see there PSV already beating AZ, De Jong with the goals for them, and we'll hopefully be able to match their result here today. I'm pleased with how things are going. Keep it up. Why would I say that? I'm 0-0 against I think my mind assumes that in a game like this we should just be ahead. So I think, just say you're pleased, Ben, because we're ahead and things are going great. We're not. The whole team are pissed off. Like, It's just a lack of thinking. What are you doing? And that's not me. That's not even me being bad at the game. That's just me not thinking with my brain. Right, if we could activate it. Right, there we are. The trumpet's been played, so I think that signalled the activation of the brain. Hopefully, it stands in better stead. Jesus wept. I don't know what it's doing. Right, we've got a lovely blue kit on though. That's to be admired, and a highlight has come our way. And you suspect a team such as ours should be winning this game without any problem at all. To quote a team talk that you can do. Benedetto though running forward with it as he's holding it up quite nicely and brings Sinkgraven into play. He's got lots of options, and he finds Schroen, who gives it to, I think it's Dykes. I think we've all agreed it's Dykes on that side. Julius pulls it back. Neves, the substitute, fires over. So far, 60% possession, a lot more shots than the opposition. Yet to convert, though, but another chance could be on its way. Daddy heads clear, and we're back under control of the ball, and it's cleared to Sinkgraven again, who plays it into Schroen, and it's tackled, launched up the field, and Delight does okay, and we're just going to work it back again now. You can see our fullbacks push up quite nice actually. We've got a guy out on that far side who I think might just be off. Actually, I think he's just on, and then we're pushed up on this side as well. So we've definitely got players. We've got enough players to cause damage. Will we though? That's the question. We're tackled again, but even when they clear it, they're sat quite defensively. You can see there they've got their 4 at the back, then they've got their 5 midfielders. There's not really much they can do in these areas. You'd think here, like, he's very isolated. Really, if we're giving them a goal from there, we're not. That's what we're sort of forcing them into. Because we're Ajax, because we have so much more of the ball, you would suspect that is what would occur more often than not in most games. And hopefully that will be enough. It's just whether we can convert and put the ball in the back of the net. And I think Dolberg gives us a really good chance of doing that. And the more players that do that, the better. And substitute David Neves. As I said Neves before, it's literally not. It's Neres. And I'm really sorry for someone that left a comment saying it's not Neves, it's Neres. I'm a disgrace. But it's got in the back of the net. We scored a goal at last. You can see from this reverse angle that he just finds a little bit of space on this far side. Benedetto makes the run. It's not picked out to him immediately, but then he comes back in. Now he's opening up the space for himself. Great first touch from David, and he fires it into the back of the net and gives us the 1-0 lead. So far, so good. It's nice to be winning a football match on Football Manager for a change. Okay, I said for a change, and here we go then. They've got a chance, edge of the box. Strike comes in. That was a little bit too close for comfort. It goes wide, but I didn't enjoy it one bit. And it just goes past the post. Right. 15 minutes to go. We've still been attacking in the game. We've been dominant in the game as well. If you look at our heat map, you can see, largely at least, we've been in their half for most of it. They've not threatened too much. We've had a lot of the game as well. 56% possession. That's gone down a little bit, actually. In the second half, they've come into it a little bit more. I don't necessarily think that means we need to make a change, though, but we've not really had too many standout performers. Frenkie de Jong. Does he come on in the centre maybe and just settle this down a little bit? I think he does. I think we'll switch him out for Sinkgraven and keep the legs fresh in the centre. Hopefully it won't affect too much. They're quite similar players. It's quite a like-for-like change. But we'll see. Time is ticking down. We're going to stay attacking. We're going to stay on the front foot because I think it gives us the best chance. I know we could go a bit more defensive here and we could try and see this out, but I just think as they might push for it, we've got the quality to beat them in behind, and that might be the sort of situation here as the ball's played through behind the fullback and Eunice on that side plays the ball across. Benedetto with a header, and it's saved by the keeper. Good chance for us though. That's the sort of thing I was expecting as we're into injury time. I could do without them scoring a late goal, I really could. We're still on attacking. Of course we could come off it, but again, I'm playing off what I mentioned before. I'm playing off the fact that they'll come forward, and with our quality, we should be able to pick them apart. You can see already they're committing a few men forward. Both fullbacks have got back quite well, but we continue to bring it away. But we've been challenged and tackled. Now, ball on that side has caused us problems. We're obviously going for this a little bit, maybe a little bit too much, as Veltman gets the header clear. It's volleyed back in, just wide. And that has made me feel a little bit more cautious. So we're just going to go back to standard for the final 5 seconds or so. And a win at last in the complete playthrough. Well, actually, to be fair, we did have one before against Nice, but then we went out and it didn't feel like we won anything at all. Ziyech's injury is now the issue. So we're going to see what that comes back with in a minute. Passionately say, well done, lads, good win. They're a lot happier than they were at half-time, but clearly the half-time team talk worked. And we'll see then. How long is he out for? Because if he's out for a while, then that is a position we probably need to strengthen in those wide areas. That inside forward role, I'm expecting him to flourish in this season. We'll see then. I like to sort of delay this and we'll see how long it is. But it is 4 to 5 weeks, so a similar amount of time to how Dolberg was out. And as soon as Dolberg comes back, he's going to be recovering. So it's not too bad. I mean, 4 to 5 weeks isn't a complete disaster. He will, though, much like Dolberg, now miss out on these Europa games that I really think we need to be winning. Hopefully Benedetto can be registered for this. I think there's another registration opportunity before the game on the Thursday, so we'll see if that allows us to do it. I'm not sure it will, but hopefully it does, because he's not obviously played in the competition before. But that's going to bring us to the end. If you've enjoyed this episode of the Ajax complete playthrough and me talking through Football Manager, do drop a like on it. If you want to see some more, subscribe to the channel, and we'll love with care from Until next time, tomorrow at the same time. We'll see you again soon. Goodbye.